Hey all, welcome back again. I wanted to make a brief video. It's a little bit different. I am still stuck at home thanks to the adventures of yesterday. If you didn't look on our updates, go ahead and check that out and you'll see what I'm talking about. But in 8.2 we're talking about reflecting lines. So if I want to reflect this point, in the questions on the back of your homework for 8.2, let's say like question 17, every one of these questions, you're going to start with your point at 1, 1. So I put my point at 1, 1. It's kind of hard to see here, but right there is my point at 1, 1. And then it says after two reflections, first across line L1 and then across line L2. So the first thing I do is line L1, x equals 2. Right here is my x equals 2 line, the green dashed line. So to reflect across that, I say how far away is my point from that line? Well, I see that is 1 away. So I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side of that line so that I can reflect it. So kind of like a mirror. It reflects exactly perpendicular across that line. So that was my first reflection. Then I grab that point, my new point, and reflect across my second line, which is my y-axis. So I come back this direction to say how far is this point from my y-axis. Well, now I see that's a distance of 3. So I go perpendicular to that. I go 3 out the other direction, 1, 2, 3, and my new point, my final point, is going to be out there at -3, +1. So hopefully that made sense to you. Try 18 really quick if you haven't done this yet. We're going to reflect across the line x equals -2 and then reflect across the x-axis. So if I reflect across x equals -2, I want to ask myself how far away is my point now from that line? Well, it is 3 points away, so I'm going to go 3 spaces away. So I'm going to go 3 on the other side, right there. So you can see that's a perfect reflection. They're both equidistant away from that line. Then I have to reflect across the x-axis, which I have in the purple dashed here. So since I'm 1 away from the x-axis, but again, remember we have to go perpendicular. So if it takes me 1 to get back to the axis, I'm going to go 1 on the other side of the axis and hit right here. So there would be my final point at -5, -1. We'll do one more here for 19. We again start at 1, 1. The first thing we reflect is the line y equals 2. So here's my green line, y equals 2. We know that's going to be a horizontal line because y always has to equal that value of 2. So my point is 1 away from that line. I go 1 on the other side, and I put my first reflected point right there. I then look at my second line that I reflect across, and that is the x-axis. So I say, how far away from the x-axis am I? Well, now I'm 3 away from the x-axis. So I go 3 on the opposite side of the axis, 1, 2, and 3. Place our point right there. And that is it. So hopefully that helps you with some of those reflections. And so when it's asking for you to find the image, you would just then write the coordinates of the new point. So here our answer would be 1, -3, so that would just be what I write down on the paper, and I am good to go. So you can really do a lot of these reflections on the same graph as long as you can keep straight what lines are where. So I don't have to see the actual graphs that you did. I just want to know where the final point is. So as long as all that makes sense, that is wonderful. Otherwise, please let me know if you still have any questions, comments, or concerns remaining. Otherwise, I will see you in class. Have a great day. Keep working hard.